5.
Yeah.
That rotation within the next, I'd say 5 minutes, is going to be now into the far southwestern most part of Montague County. So you've added in our debris tracker. We call that's the correlation coefficient.
Nothing there.
The problem is that we're in an area that is so rural that it could be really difficult. What this does is when a tornado is impacting a town, any debris that's in the air, that's what we were showing you. But when you see that when we move into rural areas, there's not as much debris if it's just moving, a farm without any buildings or just land in general. That rotation for sure looks like it is moving more northeast, and this is going right for Bowie.
Yeah, and what I was going to say too, Allie, is even if the rotation is weakening for a moment on radar, there's nothing south of this cell to cut it off. So if anything, it's just restructuring itself. It's cycling down. But these cycle up and they cycle down and they cycle back up. And in the next couple of minutes or so, it very well could drop a tornado once again if there already isn't one on the ground. Either way, Montague County, life-threatening situation, extremely dangerous tornado, or at least storm capable of producing a tornado, moving into Montague County right now as we speak. Let me pull up the graphic here. If you live in Montague County, you want to get into your safe place. Lowest, most interior room of your house, whether that's a hallway, a closet, a bathroom, a basement, you need to go there right now. You have only minutes to act before this tornado moves into your area. All right, we just got a notification from the Weather Service. They have said, quote, a new area of rotation and associated hook echo is developing in extreme northwest Wise County. This could develop into a tornado as it moves northeast towards Fruitland and Sunset areas of Montague County. All right, so we just got another report. I confirm, have visual, low-level rotation, but no lowering at this time. So at least as of right now, the good news is that we do not have a tornado on the ground. This has lifted up, but the Weather Service is alluding to the fact that this may just very well be reorganizing, and the rotation, the strongest rotation with this cell, may be reorganizing just a bit to the southeast of where it was just a little while ago. So let me pause this. I'm going to pull up the velocity and just see what they might be seeing. It still looks to me, at least in the last scan, there are two areas of potential rotation. Yeah. I would still say that the western side is still a little bit better defined, but that you can see those winds are spiking up, so we may...
Yeah, I think we could be seeing now what we saw near Truce is going to kind of wind down, and we're going to see this new area, this new circulation that's just northwest of Park Springs take over. That's likely what's happening right now, which would mean then a new storm track, because, if a tornado is a half-mile wide, 300 yards wide, that is a small area, and a half a mile where that rotation is on radar is going to play a huge role in exactly where this moves through, what town, what folks are truly impacted by it. But again, from Bowie to Salona, as you mentioned, even Sunset, I'd say those that are in Sunset, you for sure need to be in your tornado safe space as of right now.
Yeah, and I will say with the wind spiking up, this very well could be organizing into the new dominant circulation. So, I mean, Allie, spot on, totally agree. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in and just try to get an idea. So I would say if you live in any of these communities, Bowie, McDonald, Fruitland, Sunset, Salona, let me try to get in a little bit more. If you live anywhere along Highway 287 in Montague County, you need to be in your safe place now. You only have a couple of minutes before this tornado crosses the highway. I would say this is heading right towards Salona as well. So we're just kind of waiting and seeing if this takes over. Do we have anything new here?
So original rotation is now near southwest tip of Montague County along East Truce Road, which is what we were showing. And that's that really bright color. Yeah. So if this is the spot that I'm talking about here. So this was the original, which is right on the border here of Montague. But we've seen this secondary circulation, and now it's just kind of a wait and see. At this point, large hail really overspreading the area northward into Bowie, up to ping pong size is still possible with this activity. So that is a very large hail now coming out of this storm, impacting these areas as well. I want to put it back into motion just so that you can follow. This is just, I'm going to show an hour's worth, just so you can follow the evolution of this storm and how literally we've seen this second area of rotation develop in just a matter of minutes. And the question is this going to completely take over? Either way, both areas have a very large wind issue. And zooming back in, that bright magenta, pink, purplish color, whatever you want to call it, that's the hail core. It's a pretty large area. So just outside of Fruitland, but moving through Bowie along 287, Highway 81, and also pushing into Salona. Large hail likely falling. Now, I will tell you, looking at the radar itself, it really does not look as impressive as it once did, but that could be because our storm is kind of cycling and trying to figure out, okay, what's next? What do I want to do next? So I'm going to put this back on and in motion here for, we'll do 30 minutes just to give you an idea. Rotation increasing significantly southwest of Fruitland. Tornado could form at any time. It's crossing Highway 287 south of Bowie near Fruitland. So that's that new area of rotation we were talking about, folks. Here it is. And this is pretty significant as it approaches 287 here in the next couple of minutes. So now it appears this area of rotation
Do we have
is
anything
at least
new, guys?
taking the charge for now. It doesn't mean that'll continue, but I'm going to do a storm track from a pretty wide area just because I like to kind of have my bases covered here. And we will trek it close to 40 miles an hour. Of course, these are estimated, give or take. Sunset, you should already know that you need to be in your safe shelter at this point. Montague, 719. So folks in Montague, in and around Montague, you have 20 minutes to get to your safe location. If you are in a manufactured home, we need you in your designated safe location now. Manufactured homes are not safe in this situation. Anyone from St. Joe to Bonita and even Nocona, I want you to be aware as well that you should also be thinking about your safety precautions at this point because of how quickly this storm is moving. Bonita by 7:34, Caps Corner 7:42, Leon by 7:53. So before 8 o'clock, we expect this area of rotation to be moving over the Red River. But that means we have an hour to watch this storm evolve and kind of change as it moves through Montague County. This is a very significant storm. Ping pong to golf ball sized hail still likely coming out of this, Dylan.
Yeah, and let's pause this, Sally, and let's zoom in and get a really good idea of where this potential tornado could be crossing in Montague County. So this is moving into Fruitland right now. It looks like Highway 287 right in the Fruitland area. That's where this potential tornado is crossing. And like Ali was saying, too, the rotation has really ramped up in the past few minutes. Very bad sign as this gets ready to cross a populated area of Montague County. And Salona, this is knocking on the door as well. If you have not gotten into your safe place now, you have a storm with a history of producing a large tornado moving in right now. Have we seen anything, Ali, on correlation coefficient in the past few minutes?
Have not, but I can put it over just so that we can see.
Yeah, nothing there. Nothing really stands out. But either way, there's very strong rotation with this cell as it is getting ready to move into Fruitland. Now, I would say if you live anywhere from Bowie up through Fruitland, down to Sunset, Salona, you need to be in your safe place now. Lowest, most interior room of your home. This is a life-threatening situation. If you have a helmet, put on your helmet. Mattress, pillows, blankets, as much stuff as possible to insulate yourself from a potential tornado outside of your home. I've been to numerous homes after tornadoes, and even in the strong ones, that middle room usually holds up very well. So Allie's putting up a timer. This is moving to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So entering McDonald's at 7:02. It's 7 now. If you live in McDonald, you may have seconds to act. This is going to be entering into Montague as we get towards 7:18, Bonita 7:32, and then Cap's Corner by 7:41. This is a very dangerous situation. This rotation is really ramped up in the past few minutes, likely very strong winds. Now, I will say, and Allie's been saying this as well, this is quite far away from our radar, but to see such strong rotation, even this high up, it's a good indication that there's a tornado associated with this storm. And another thing I wanted to add too, Allie, let's go back to the reflectivity for just a moment, because it doesn't quite have that classic hook that we saw a little while ago. But this may be a rain-wrapped tornado now, so you may not even see it if you're to the south, southeast of it, maybe Alvord. If you're looking north, maybe northwest, you may not see this. So this very well could be rain-wrapped, which makes it even more dangerous. If you're in the path of this storm, though, Salona, Montague, this will likely start off as heavy rain, lightning, and then turning over to large hail. I mean, it's very bright pink showing up on radar. So Allie was saying potentially golf ball-sized hail. The hail will come. It may get quiet, and then the tornado moves in, just based on what we're looking at on radar right now.
Hey, Dylan, and everything you're saying, the National Weather Service completely agrees.
Yeah.
Now they also feel it may be obscured by rain, and they do believe that a tornado is in progress just by what the radar signatures are looking like. So as we mentioned, this looks so impressive, even though we haven't had confirmation on the ground. Several meteorologists at the National Weather Service agree there is likely a tornado on the ground right now in and around the area of Fruitland, moving over Highway 287 as we speak. And it is likely rain-wrapped at this point, and this thing is racing at 35, 40 miles an hour. So this is quickly becoming a life-threatening situation in and around the area of Fruitland, and then eventually for those in the area of Salona.
Yeah, totally agree. No, newsroom, have we gotten any reports of damage or tornado?
Oh, and just FYI, the warnings that were in Wise County and Jack County, they let those expire, obviously, because now we've got this one area of rotation, this storm that's likely producing a tornado. So it's just Montague County that has the current tornado warning. It is in effect until 7:15. That will get extended, folks, because more of Montague County will get added to this warning. We're likely going to hear more sirens as well, with a tornado still likely on the ground here. Yeah,
and just to piggyback on what Allie was saying, there's nothing south of this cell, so I don't see any reason why this supercell will weaken in the near term. We'll probably be tracking this, Allie, all the way until it crosses the Red River into Oklahoma. So just kind of taking a step back for a second, we have a tornado-warned storm, likely tornado in progress in Montague County right now. The strongest rotation is just to the southwest or southeast of Bowie, crossing Highway 287 near Fruitland. So likely tornado moving through Fruitland right now. Salona, you have just minutes to act. Get into the lowest, most interior room of your house, safest room in your home that you can go to. Montague, you need to get into your safe place as well. And I would say this for everybody from St. Joe up to Bonita, even Nocona? Nocona. I would get into your safe place too. This is going to track all the way up to the Red River to Leon. So just everybody in this path, you need to get into your tornado shelter immediately. And just putting a timer on this, Montague, you have about 15 minutes until this arrives where you are. Bonita arriving at 7:34, and then crossing the Red River as we get towards 7:45. Rotation very strong with this at the moment. Unfortunately, this storm has a history of producing a tornado. Allie, let's go ahead and let's get rid of the timer and let's zoom in on that strongest rotation. Just get down to street level and see if there's any local streets that this is crossing. So Fruitland.
Yeah, it's going to be super difficult out here. I believe that is this 101? Yeah. Oh, hold on one second.
What's what about the
101?
What about the Salona area? Are there any roads? And yeah, we just got a new scan.
Look at that new scan. Okay, so this
Yeah.
thing is already now moving out of Fruitland.
Maybe McDonald too. I mean, what's that road just north of there? What's this road?
We'll grab
Let's
them
see.
here. That's 59. That's Highway 59.
Yeah. So this is eventually going to cross. It's kind of paralleling 59, but if there is a tornado on the ground, it's likely somewhere near Highway 287 and Highway 59 in Montague County, moving off to the northeast. Allie, if you don't mind, could you go through maybe the past 2 or 3 frames? I'm just trying to get an idea if this is moving more northeast or more north. Let's see what.
And I will tell you that we do have amateur radio reports that there is a tornado on the ground.
Okay, so.
And it's moving northeast on radar.
Yeah.
Very close to the Fruitland area is what folks are still saying.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like. Yeah.
To me, this is due northeast. I mean, this is.
Yep. It's pretty much paralleling 59. It has for a while. So there you go. So just moments ago from National Weather Service chat, confirmed tornado on the ground in Montague County, quickly moving to the northeast. Montague, downtown Montague, this is heading in your direction. You likely have 10, 15 minutes until this gets there at max.
For sure.
And as Allie and I have been saying, just our professional opinion, there's no signs of this weakening. There's no reason why this cell won't weaken as it moves off to the northeast. So extremely dangerous, life-threatening situation right now in Montague County. Tornado warned cell quickly moving to the northeast. This will likely cross Highway 82 somewhere in Montague County within the next half hour or so. Allie, if you don't mind, let's pause this and let's put a timer on the rotation. And I would have to imagine too that we will get an expansion of this tornado warning from the National Weather Service.
We're for sure going to. It's just a matter of minutes, kind of waiting for them, because it's confirmed that there is a tornado on the ground at this point. So we should get it. Salona, you mentioned, literally in the next couple of minutes. I'd say this rotation is right on top of Salona with that next radar pass. Montague, you've got about 10 minutes. Bonita, 7:37. Caps Corner, 7:45, Leon, 7:55. So we still expect by 8 p.m. that rotation to be moving north of the Red River and into southern Oklahoma. So we've got a very long 40 to 50 minutes here in Montague County tracking this monster of a storm, producing very large hail, damaging winds, and a tornado likely still on the ground at this point.
Yeah, and look, if you live in any of these places, Salona, Montague, Bonita, Caps Corner, you need to get into your tornado safe place now. Lowest, most interior room of your home, hallway, bathroom, closet, basement, any of those places. Put on a helmet. If you have a mattress, blankets, pillows, you want as much stuff insulating you from where you are in your home to what's going on outside. So we just want to mention that to you. This is a life-threatening situation with a confirmed tornado on the ground. Multiple confirmed reports within the past few minutes.
Yeah, so this is when looking at a traditional radar signature, this is the area we're talking about. And just so you know, a spotter advised extremely strong winds southwest of Fruitland. So as that system is wrapping up, the winds that are coming in and going out are both, intense at this point. And a new tornado warning will be issued for the rest of Montague County here soon. So as expected, there's the area of circulation we're talking about near Fruitland, moving into Salona, and another tornado warning will be issued and extended off to the north and east. That will include Montague, St. Joe. It may include Nocona as well, and all the way up to the Red River is where we expect that tornado warning to get issued here. Let's see. So this was a report from a little while ago. The tornado was 3 miles southwest of Fruitland, and that was a bit ago. So keep in mind, this is moving at about 30 to 35 miles an hour right now. So we're talking this tornado has likely been on the ground for a good 5 to 10 minutes that we know of. I want to just briefly zoom out a little bit because there is other stuff going on. The thing is that nothing is as intense. So I don't want to leave other folks out that are concerned about what's happening here. So just a quick overview. We are going to see more and more storms develop. We're already seeing that off to our west and southwest, and those will also have to be watched because the atmosphere is just so volatile right now, and there's a lot of wind shear that could allow one of these individual storms to briefly spin up. So we're definitely not out of the woods yet, and I would not be surprised if more counties get added into a tornado watch here, and we'll likely even see that watch eventually extend into the entire Metroplex too. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, Allie, and I just wanted to tag along with what you were saying. So we have gotten a new tornado watch, and I'm putting up the graphic right now. I'm just getting it.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so this is in effect. Let me just remove this really quick.
Do we have weather 5? Because I can add.
Yeah, so this is in effect until midnight. So I'm putting together the graphic right now. And by the way, Dan said he is coming in.
Mr. Dan Henry will be on his way here with this new watch that's just issued. Yeah, at this point, it includes Grayson and Denton counties, as well as the other counties that are already in the watch. But I would not be surprised if Tarrant, Dallas, Collin, and a few more folks get added into this watch before the evening is up, just with the trending of everything going on. There's our new warning that was issued.
Yeah.
So they don't take away the old polygon until the circulation is completely out of the area. But it does include also portions of Cook County too. So Munster, taking beautiful Highway 82, going through the great town of Munster and St. Joe. It's a beautiful area up there. There's wineries, lots of cute towns in this area of North Texas. And this monster of a storm is producing very large hail and these damaging winds. I'll put the velocity scans back on. Let's get Storm Relative back on here. So this still looks so impressive. And it looks just on the southeastern side of Bowie is where that circulation remains.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, this is passing way too close to comfort in the Bowie area. I'm just curious, Allie, pull up the correlation coefficient. Let's just see if we've gotten any kind of a tornado debris signature. So I would say no at this point. Would you agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just put it in motion to see if we can get anything really good. Yeah, I don't really see anything.
I would be concerned though if once this passes Bowie, if we start to see a little trend up in that debris signature, if one pops up, that would be very concerning. But either way, very strong inflow into this rotation. And we likely have a tornado on the ground in progress just southeast of Bowie right now. Allie, if you don't mind, let's zoom in really closely on this couplet. Let's just see if we can get an idea. So, I mean, this is passing very near McDonald. And maybe right near 287 and 59. We likely have a tornado passing just to the southeast of Bowie right now as we speak. And if you live anywhere along Highway 59, further up the road, you have just minutes to react. This is quickly heading up in the direction of Montague. I would say if you live in Montague, this is a life-threatening situation, an extremely dangerous, life-threatening, tornado-warned storm moving in your direction. You have just minutes to react if you live in Montague.
And, you know, with this moving northeast, it was moving pretty parallel. It's still kind of moving pretty parallel to 59. As you mentioned, Dylan. So you mentioned Montague and Salona, but eventually up towards St. Joe, Bonita. I think there are several areas that are really going to be impacted by this. Even if it's not a tornado, there will be damaging winds in excess of 60 miles an hour and that large hail we were talking about. Yeah, a lot of people are going to get that hail as well, Allie, as you said. And also the wind as well. There's very strong inflow into the storm. So many of you will feel the wind, even if you don't get the tornado. But very impressive rotation right now, just to the southeast of Bowie. This is heading up towards Montague as we speak. So as we've been saying, and we cannot stress this to you enough, if you live in Montague County along Highway 59 between Bowie and Montague, you need to be in your safe place now. You need to get there, lowest, most interior room of your house. This is a very likely ongoing tornado moving directly up Highway 59 right now, pretty much paralleling that highway. It has been since Jacksboro.
and this is moving up into Montague now. Have we gotten anything new?
Literally just from the National Weather Service, Dylan. Rotation become a little bit more broad right on the radar near Bowie. Most likely location of a tornado would be near the Bishop Road, Brushy Road area, southeast of Bowie. So again, zooming back in, pretty much between McDonald and Salona and just southeastern parts of the town of Bowie, just south of Highway 59 is where that rotation remains. We're still uncertain if there is a tornado on the ground, but this is the area that it would be if we had a tornado on the ground right now. Even if it's lifted temporarily, I mean, it once again could be just recycling. If we zoom out a bit, Allie, and go back to reflectivity, I mean, as of a little while ago, there was nothing south of this cell to disrupt it. So no, not at all. And there still isn't. This is the only game in town for now. There's nothing that will be able to take its energy, steal the energy from it. So I just put it back in motion so you can see how it's just ripping through Montague County. It's hooked up too again. Yeah, and we're seeing, like you mentioned, we're seeing that little bit of a hook moving away from Bowie, heading up towards Montague, and it's just eyeing Montague and St. Joe and Highway 82 at this point. I mean, and once again, I just cannot say this enough times, but this is a life-threatening situation. If you live in Montague, this is making a beeline for you right now. Allie, if you don't mind, let's pause it, let's zoom in a little bit, and let's put a tracker out on this for the rest of the time that it is in Montague, because this is likely going to be a tornado producer well into Oklahoma as well. We will track it until it crosses the Red River. But I will say we just had a report of some flash flooding in Bowie. So on top of everything else, we're now getting flash flood concerns. Yeah. So I mean, look, 7:21 Montague. What time is it? You have 4 minutes. Yeah, you've got a few minutes here. You have 4 minutes, Montague. Get into your safe place now. This is nothing to mess around with. Bonita, 7:36. So you have a little bit of time in Bonita. But not much. Your time is dwindling as well. And look, the hail's already starting in these places. Montague's likely seeing a very large hail at the moment with those pinks on radar. Same up towards, you said Nocona, right, Allie? Nocona, yeah. Nocona, yeah. And this is going to get worse for hail-wise in St. Joe, Leon. Even if you don't get the tornado, damaging winds with this, flash flooding. We have confirmed reports of flash flooding in Bowie as well, as this monster storm races off to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. I don't mind me. I'm just kind of working through some things here. A new flash flood warning will be issued for Montague as well. There's the bigger picture. I'm going to just show the new watch that was extended, Dylan, so that folks can just see what counties are back in it. Yeah, and just to kind of reiterate what we've been saying as well, you just saw the wide shot of the radar, and now you see the watches. As of right now, in the Metroplex, the bulk of the activity is occurring to our north and to our west. And I think for the next several hours, this is going to be the case. Now, after midnight, we're going to see a separate line of storms come in from the west, and that's when we'll see our greatest risk here in the Metroplex. So, and also our eastern zone. So I will say, too, if you're going to bed in our eastern zones or just anywhere in the Fox 4 viewing area, you need to have multiple ways of getting a warning before going to bed, because this severe threat is going to continue throughout the overnight hours. And like we were talking about too, this one wicked storm, there's nothing south of it to cut off its inflow. So this will likely be a tornado producer as it crosses all the way into Oklahoma. And I mean, look at it, Allie, in the past few minutes, it's got that hook again. It looks to me like it's starting to cycle back up, and this is terrible timing as it moves into Montague. Yeah, we are 150 or so miles from the radar site at least, so we're looking at mid-level rotation. It is still very strong. There is no confirmation of something on the ground right now, but we want you to take it as such. So this storm is now moving east of Bowie and is heading right into areas around Montague and eventually towards Highway 82, up to ping pong, golf ball sized hail, and that damaging wind threat in excess of 60 miles an hour. So at this point, this is just radar confirmation, and you'll see that tornado warning was chopped up a little bit. So areas like Sunset and areas outside to the southwest of Bowie are no longer in the warning. The warning area still includes Bowie, cities like Montague, Montague, Nakona, St. Joe, and Munster. So even a portion of Cook County is in this warning too, just in case if this storm decides to move a little more east of northeast.
Yeah, and so yeah, and 100%. I couldn't have said it better. Let's go ahead and zoom in, though, on that couplet, Allie, and let's try to get down to street level. This is passing very close to Salona. Looks like the strongest rotation, if there is a tornado on the ground, likely right along Highway 59, riding up Highway 59. So newsroom, if you're looking for maybe some damage with our reporters, I would check maybe, what's that, 287?
287, 59.
Yeah.
We do have Amelia Jones on her way to Jacksboro.
Okay.
That confirmed tornado likely did cause some damage. So we're going to go from probably Jacksboro, then up into Montague County and follow the path of this supercell.
So here's where we stand right now. An extremely dangerous storm capable of producing a tornado in Montague County. This is passing very close to the town of Salona as I speak, but this is moving quickly to the northeast and pretty much heading in the direction of Bonita. Where's Montague? Where's downtown
Montague? Is right where 175 and 59 connect. It's not showing up on our map, but
it's coming
those in Montague, they know where they're at. So Montague is basically right here, just to the northeast of our center of circulation. So here's our broad area of circulation. Yeah,
life-threatening situation. We do not know, at least as of right now, if this is on the ground. But if it is on the ground, likely a large rain-wrapped tornado moving into Montague as maybe in the next couple of minutes. Allie's putting up a timer. Let's see, getting into Montague at 7:28 and 7:22. So you just have a couple of minutes, Montague, before this potential tornado moves in. Further down the road, this is eventually going to cross Highway 82 in Montague County, somewhere between St. Joe and Nakona, and then eventually moving into Leon within the next 30 minutes or so. So like we've been saying, extremely dangerous situation, tornado warned storm, at least right now, radar indicated, very large hail, golf ball sized hail probably with this as it moves in. And I would say, Allie, let's pull up the correlation coefficient one more time. Let's just see if we've gotten anything. Maybe just go through the past couple of frames. Let's just see if anything, maybe got a, I would say there isn't a clear tornado debris signature there yet, but no.
And I'll say, even a little earlier with this cell, most of our folks at the Weather Service also said they weren't seeing that. So I think it's just going to be very difficult in the location of where this storm is moving through, at least for now. I mean, it's good that it's not impacting town centers at this point, but if we could keep it rural, that'd be obviously best for most of the folks. But we'll have to see as this goes over Montague what it looks like.
Yeah, and I would say too, the only thing with the tornado debris signature potential there is, if we did see a tornado debris signature this far away from the radar, it would be a very bad sign, because that would mean that if there was a tornado on the ground producing damage, it would be lofting debris very high up into the atmosphere.
And then we're talking a massive tornado in that situation.
So it's just tough because we're so far away from the radar. But either way, this has an extensive history of producing a tornado as it races off to the northeast. And next up in line is Montague.
I just want you to see the green polygons that were added. Those are the flash flood warnings. That includes Jack County and Montague County. So flash flooding has either occurred or is imminent, and that also extremely dangerous. New from the National Weather Service, they kind of agree with us. Rotation remains broad but strong across Montague, east of Bowie. No reports of a tornado and no TDS apparent on radar. So we're all on the same page here, which is great. Everyone's seeing the same thing on radar. Now, the folks around Jacksboro and in Jack County are obviously, I'm sure, some areas dealing with debris and cleanup now have a flash flood warning. That thunderstorm also looking quite strong across Jack County, too. But our main area of rotation, and it's still here. And there's that little hook that we talk about, Dylan. I mean, it's a little more prominent now than what it was, a half hour ago, for sure.
Yeah, and, another thing, too, anybody in Jack County or Montague County, if now that at least the tornado warned storm is past you, at least some of you, if you have any reports of damage, send us an email at Fox 4. Let us know. These ground reports are extremely valuable in helping us to determine what exactly is going on. We're likely talking about a rain-wrapped tornado potentially in Montague County right now. So if you have any reports that you want to send our way, email us, send us a message through Facebook. All of that is extremely valuable and will help us get that information out. All right, so just kind of going back to what's happening right now. Tornado warned storm getting ready to move into Montague right now as we speak. Rotation still broad at the moment, but we're far away from the radar. So Montague, get into your safe place if you haven't done so yet. This is moving in as we speak. And then further up the road, Bonita, this is making a beeline to you, along with Cap's Corner as well. It looks like does the Weather Service feel like this is moving a little bit more east-northeast, just based on this polygon?
You know, I think it's kind of a let's cover and make sure just in case, because we can often see these supercells move northeast for hours on end and then become right turners, make that turn and move more due east. This storm has significantly stayed in that northeasterly path. I think this is a just in case for areas like Munster and those in far northwest Cook County. We're still seeing the rotation. It's still moving generally northeast at this point. And that's right now Montague for sure is our first county that we are most concerned with. The city of Montague, Bonita, as you mentioned, even St. Joe. But I think the warning was also in Munster, just to let those folks know, like, hey, this is very close to you and things can change. It appears some broad lowering with several possible brief touchdowns east of Bowie and then southwest of Montague. So what appears to be a rain-wrapped tornado is now being reported just west of Montague at the present time. So what we're seeing on radar in terms of our velocity scans, because there's more than one area that has, it's so hard. It's very difficult to see now on radar where that rotation is. This is likely rain-wrapped. And Dylan, for me, I feel like there could again be two areas of rotation and everything's kind of getting muddied now. So now this is the spot where there could be where there is a tornado on the ground. So we're taking it, this is ground truth reports here, rain wrapped just west of Montague at the present time. So the area we were watching was a little more east. And now we are getting reports of that tornado right here west of Montague. Yeah, and I will say, if you go back to the reflectivity, Allie, for a second, I was seeing signs of what you would call a bounded weak echo region. So that tells me that there's a very strong updraft with this storm. So sign to me that there very well could be a tornado on the ground. And we have gotten reports of occasional damage between Bowie and Montague within the past few minutes. So we are likely talking about a rain-wrapped tornado in Montague County as we speak, likely moving into Montague right now. And even if there isn't a tornado, or even if you miss the tornado, look at the pinks on radar. This thing is dropping some massive hail, likely at least the size of golf balls. So there's likely going to be destructive hail damage as well, even if you don't get the tornado in parts of Montague County. I'm going to put a new track on because of where that new circulation is from ground truth here. And I'm going to say 30 to 35. I think it's kind of been going back and forth. So just west of Montague, you know what? It's in the city of Montague right now. Yes. Bonita 745, Cap's Corner 754, Leon 804. So it is north of the Red River at 8 o'clock. So there hasn't really been much of a change in terms of timing, but that center of circulation just west of Montague at this point, tornado likely on the ground, which means those that are in St. Joe will maybe be spared this go around, but those that are closer to Nakona will really have to keep an eye on this if the circulation stays in that specific area. So last we've heard rain-wrapped tornado reported just west of Montague at the present time. I'll zoom back in so we can see some of those highways. It can become very difficult out here So again, that's Highway 59 and that's 175. So those that are in Montague around 175 and Highway 59, you need to be in your tornado shelter now. If you are in a manufactured home in Montague, we need you now to stay put. It is you are too close to this circulation to move at this point.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's go back to velocity and pause it, Allie, and let's just get down to street level and see if we have a good idea of where this might be. So, I mean, to me, it's so far away from the radar, so it's hard to tell. But there's likely a tornado somewhere in the vicinity of Montague right now. What is this? Let's see. That's 59 right there.
Yes.
South of Montague. What is this?
This is 175.
Okay, so that's 175. So this is likely threading the needle. So I would say this is moving through Montague now. Hopefully all of you have gotten into your safe place. Looking ahead, though, this is going to cross Highway 82 next. So you only have moments, maybe a couple of minutes, if you live along Highway 82 up in Montague County, somewhere between Nakona and over towards Bonita. This tornado-producing storm will be crossing Highway 82 in just the next few minutes. So if you live in any of these spots, get into the lowest, most interior room of your home, hallway, closet, bathroom, basement if you have that. Put on a helmet if you have a helmet, mattresses, pillows, blankets, anything that you have to help insulate yourself from the potential tornado approaching your home and where you are inside of your home.
It appears, so just hearing from what our folks at the Weather Service are saying, I see two areas of rotation, but I think this area that's just west of 175 is the area of the rain-wrapped tornado at this point. That seems to be the stronger of the two rotations that we're seeing. And as you mentioned, Dylan, this is still very far from our radar site, but it's just west of the city center. And this, again, is moving northeast, so anyone around Montague likely being impacted by this.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Allie, but to me, this is just very strong rotation. Maybe a very strong inflow, but
that's exactly that's most likely what it is at this point. Initially, that's where some of our stronger returns were coming from, but that is probably just a ridiculous amount of wind coming in, easily 60 miles an hour. Yeah,
and look, if you live in Bonita, Nakona, Cap's Corner, you need to get into your tornado safe place now. You only have a few minutes to react. This is making a beeline to you. We have had multiple reports of this dropping a tornado over the past. I mean, we've been on now for an hour and a half, I would say. Maybe right around 6 o'clock, we started going wall to wall. This is producing a prolific amount of lightning as well. So I would say Allie, that the lightning is ticked back up in the past few frames. And just reading some studies from the AMS, usually when you see big spikes in lightning, that means that the storm is strengthening once again.
For sure. That's exactly what I think is happening. I agree with you there. Especially when that lightning starts to tick back up, we often see the hail size go up too. Rotation remains broad on radar across Montague, so where any potential tornado is unclear, but most likely southwest of Montague. In addition, large hail apparent from Montague to Nakona and to Bonita. So Weather Service agrees with us. Again, this rotation is broad. We are not sure if there still is a tornado on the ground, but we believe it would be close to the area of Montague, west-southwest maybe of the city center. This is racing northeast and will likely move towards Nakona, between Nakona and St. Joe here in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Significant lightning and up to golf ball-sized hail remain possible in this.
Yeah, and Allie, just an observation, if you don't mind pausing and just going to the current frame. I will say, just looking at the reflectivity and just looking at the structure of this storm, the past few frames, it certainly looks to me like it's getting that hook back. You can clearly see that. It's got a little bit more of a hook. Looks to me like it's organizing again. And as we've been saying, there's nothing south of this storm. So I expect this to continue being a potential tornado producer well into Oklahoma as it quickly races off to the northeast.
So I wanted to put velocity back on because I mentioned the different areas of rotation that we had, and the Weather Service agrees this area southeast of Montague, new area of rotation developing here. So now we're talking two different spots. where we could be dealing with rotation on both sides of Montague, both moving northeast, which is why this polygon extends from Nocona all the way down to St. Joe and then into Cook County around Munster. So 2 different areas of potential circulation. No confirmation of anything currently on the ground, but this storm is not showing any signs of slowing down and is likely just going to keep cycling with these little vortices, these little areas of rotation.
Yeah, and Allie, I will say, just tracking this thing now for the past hour and a half, I mean, we've seen this at least 3 times. This would be the 4th time now where you have the tornado, the main circulation develop, and then a new circulation kind of takes over a little bit to the east, and this may be happening again now. Either way, and just like Allie was saying, just based on the uncertainty, because we're so far away from the radar. If you live in Montague County between Nocona and I would say at least St. Joe, you need to be in your tornado safe place now. Highway 82, this is getting ready to cross within the next few minutes. And this is 59, the southern highway, correct, Allie? So this is likely somewhere near 59. It's been paralleling 59 all the way back since Jacksboro for the past hour and a half. So newsroom, if we're looking for any damage, I would say just anywhere along Highway 59 in Jack County up towards Montague, that's where we may find some tornado damage to report on.
So
as well.
I added a track, but I mean, there are 2 areas of circulation. So this is a very broad area. This is basically just to show you where the wind damage is likely going to be with these circulations, even if another tornado is not produced, at least 60-mile-an-hour winds. So there are some newer times for you. But anyone from Nocona to St. Joe along Highway 82, that's really going to be my greatest concern here over the next 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah,
totally agree with everything you said. So, Allie, let's go back to reflectivity, and I would say, and this is fine for right now, just want to take a deep breath and kind of just rehash where we are if you're just joining. We have been on air now for the past hour and a half tracking a monster storm that has produced a tornado all the way back to Jack County. This, I would say, Allie, this is some of the best it's looked probably in the past half an hour or so. Classic supercell signature. I'd say it's hooking up again as it passes Montague. So really bad news as this crosses Highway 82 within the next few minutes or so. But extremely dangerous storm in Montague County right now. Potentially producing a tornado. It has an extensive history of producing a tornado right over Montague as we speak right now. This is quickly moving off, I'd say a little bit more to the northeast, huh, Allie?
Which is, and if we can get this to stay between Nocona and St. Joe, that would be great. But it is definitely moving more northeast. So those that are in Cook County and you're concerned, you may be hearing sirens. I'll tell you, the circulations are well to your west. And right now, this is following a northeastward trek, which is good news for those in Cook County and maybe at least for those that are in Nocona and St. Joe, if you can, bear the brunt of this, if that just heads right between the 2 towns, of course, that would probably be best case scenario at this point. But it is moving due northeast, and it's moving at a good clip still, so that's great. 2 areas of circulation. Those bright magenta colors you've got on radar showing the large hail cores up to golf balls still remain possible with this, and we're talking just hundreds of lightning strikes every 5 minutes here. So this is really making some noise. And the more the lightning develops, the more likely this is going to keep intensifying.
Yeah, this is a beast of a storm. I mean, you have the hook. And I'd say in the past few minutes, it's reorganized a bit as it gets ready to cross over into Oklahoma within the next half an hour or so. So let's pause this, Allie. Let's see, have we gotten anything new from a velocity standpoint? And
I have not seen anything new in the chat. Okay. Velocity standpoint, it doesn't. I mean, there is still rotation, but it doesn't look as...
Maybe down here, if anything?
I think there are several areas of rotation in this whole... I think it's very muddy right now where we're at. Yeah. Let me just zoom out here. So just to give you an idea of how far we are, our radar is, we're close to 75 to 100 miles from the radar site. So we're overshooting we're overshooting these thunderstorms. So we're looking at, a couple thousand, feet up. We're not looking at the surface here. So it's going to be very difficult to see what kind of circulation is at the surface. I think there are several areas that are just rotating. This is just such a massive area that has a few different pieces of rotation in it. And to me, this does not look as good as it did. It doesn't mean that we still can't have a tornado, but I think this could either be cycling. We may see one spot take over from the other, but this is still producing very large hail and those damaging winds.
Yeah, and it's tough too, Ali. I was just taking a closer look at the radar, and like you said, this is 75 miles from the radar. Just to give you some perspective, this is scanning 6,500 feet up into the atmosphere. So unfortunately, we're in a spot where we're far from the radar, and whatever rotation that we're seeing on radar, not just the rotation, but also if we're trying to discern if there's a tornado debris signature on radar, we're scanning 6,500 feet up right now. So it's just a tough spot. But either way, regardless of what the radar is showing right now, we have an extremely dangerous storm with a history of producing a tornado for the past hour and a half moving through Montague County right now. So this is getting ready. I would say that, the hook, just looking at reflectivity, this is getting ready to cross Highway 82 right now between Nakona and St. Joe. And then it's going to be crossing up into Oklahoma, into the Red River shortly thereafter. Ali, let's go down to, let's just see if there's, it seems like a pretty unpopulated area, but let's just see if there's anything between Nakona and St. Joe.
Sure.
I know we have Bonita.
Yeah,
so Bonita, this is moving
the town
in.
of Bonita. Bonita's getting hammered right now with hail at this point. So very large hail up to golf balls from Bonita to Nakona and Montague. So we've got like a little triangle, our own little Bermuda Triangle from Montague up the highway to Nakona and then down 82 to Bonita. Large hail up to golf balls. No recent reports of tornadoes. Strongest rotation is now west of St. Joe along Highway 50.
Makes sense.
59 here.
Yeah, there's 59. Yeah, there's 59. So just north
that's literally where we've been talking.
Yeah, and just to tag on with what Ali was saying, if you live in Bonita, if you live in Capps Corner, you only have maybe minutes, maybe seconds to react. If you haven't gotten into your safe place yet, you need to do so right now. This is getting ready to cross Highway 82 right now. If there is a tornado with this, it's likely just south of Highway 82, just north of 59 in Montague County, getting ready to cross near Bonita. So lowest, most interior room of your home, a hallway, a closet, a bathroom, basement. If you have a helmet, put a helmet on. Anything, mattresses, blankets, pillows, whatever you have, bring it with you. You want to be as insulated from this potential tornado impacting your home and where you are inside of your home as it moves in. And I mean, we're seeing some blacks now popping up on reflectivity. There's likely some monster hail with this cell.
Yeah.
We're likely, I mean, look, the tornado is one thing, but a lot of people are likely seeing destructive hail damage with this storm as well as it gets ready to cross into Oklahoma, Ali.
Just to update folks in and around the city of Bowie, the police department had to close Nelson Street at Mill Street and Nelson at Railroad Bridge and Decatur Street due to flooding. So severe hydroplaning, flash flooding at Y Street and Pelham. So major flash flooding happening currently in Bowie. That flash flood warning continues not just for Montague, but also into Jack County because the storms are still moving through. We expected some of the higher rain totals over a couple of days to happen in these zones, and this is why. We've got training cells, one after the other in the same location. Most of them aren't severe, but we're talking several inches of rain, up to 3 inches have already fallen through parts of Jack and Montague, and another couple of inches expected before the night is up. So that is a ton of water at this point. It's all runoff, and there's likely going to be some major flood concerns across Jack and Montague County. Of course, our tornado warning is the one big warning we've got going. That goes officially until 8 o'clock. We expect that circulation to be north of the Red River after 8 o'clock. And we're still seeing the hook that you talk about on radar, and it actually looks even more of a hook than what it did a few minutes ago. So this is the area we're talking about. This is approaching Highway 82. I'll stop motion here for a second. That was an hour loop. So this is still moving at about 30 or so miles an hour. I always like to go out ahead of where I see that. Okay, well, that moved very quickly. I always like to try and go out a couple miles ahead just to give a little extra lead time. But those are the new numbers. Bonita right now, Caps Corner 756, Leon 807. So until 8 o'clock, we expect this to stay in Texas. And then after that, it will move into southern Oklahoma. If you know folks up there in Leon, Pike, or Oswald, give them a call now because this is not slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, Allie, and I was just taking a look to see if we had any more reports in our Fox 4 weather email. Nothing new. I saw another picture of a funnel from earlier. But look, if you guys have any reports of damage or a site of a tornado, don't hesitate. Please send it in. You can email us at Fox 4. You can send us a direct message on the Fox 4 Facebook page. X, DM us on X. Any of those things work, and any reports of damage are extremely valuable for the safety of the public. We really depend on these ground reports during these very dangerous situations.
Yeah,
so,
we can tell you till we're blue in the face what we see on radar, but you're our eyes and ears outside. And if there are no ground truth reports, it makes everyone's job a little bit more difficult. What we like to say is, even though at this point this is radar indicated, we want you to take it as if there is a tornado on the ground, because it's still a devastating storm with damaging winds. 60, 70 mile an hour winds are a weak tornado, folks. So whether or not we have a tornado on the ground, this could easily be producing EF0 winds as it moves through Bonita here in the next few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, this is a wicked cell. I mean, I know it's 75, 80 miles away from the radar now, Ellie, but I mean, this thing's got a nasty hook. It's producing some very big hail as it moves off to the northeast very quickly. It's crossing near Bonita now, but it may even clip maybe far northwestern zones of Cook County as well. We'll see how if it keeps heading more northeast, right up into Oklahoma, or maybe clips some of these extreme northeastern parts of Cook County in the next few minutes. I mean, either way, tornado or no tornado, there's some very large hail with this.
Yeah, we're still getting at least ping pong signatures on there. I'd say that's big enough. Nothing new out of the chat. They're kind of just agreeing with what we're saying, Dylan, just to let you know. Again, this is still a weak rotation, pretty far from the radar site, but that rotation is moving over Highway 82 now, and it is between Nocona and St. Joe, heading through Bonita, and then folks in Caps Corner would be next on the list here. Let me see if there are any other
streets.
It's just so difficult in this part of Texas to grab. Yeah, there aren't as many farm to market roads up here that I can grab. Yeah,
373. So I would say next up with this, we have a possible tornado crossing Highway 82 right now near Bonita. If you live in Montague County, somewhere near Road 373, you need to get into your tornado safe place now. This is quickly moving up in your direction at 30 to 40 miles per hour. You have just minutes to react, if not seconds. As of right now, we have a very nasty supercell with a history of producing a tornado crossing Highway 82 in Montague County. We have been tracking this for nearly 2 hours now, wall to wall here on Fox 4, as it ripped through Jack County and now up into Montague County as well. And it will be crossing up into Oklahoma in the next few minutes as well. Just going to take a sip of water, Allie.
Yeah, go for it. I'm just going through our Facebook page right now. I know folks were watching. We apologize for interrupting your broadcast from earlier. I just want you to know, when it comes to these situations and we have reports of tornadoes on the ground, regardless of what is on television, we are always going to preempt what's on television. And I know that upsets some folks, but be thankful that this is not happening in your area. But for the folks in Montague County, we want to be there for them. I do have a report from someone that was in Bowie, just off Highway 59, a mile northeast of 287. They got pocket change hail up to Marbles. and flooding. So they've got some major flooding there, high water off of Decatur Street. So that's another confirmation of the flash flooding currently happening in Bowie. I haven't seen any reports of a tornado on the ground at this point in Montague, so that is best case scenario, Dylan. But this is still very broad rotation, strongest just south of Bonita, which is what we're seeing currently on radar. So the National Weather Service agrees with us. This is radar indicated rotation. And at this point, we do not believe there is a tornado on the ground, but it is just so hard to see when you're close to 100 miles from the radar site.
Yeah, and just to reiterate what Allie was saying earlier, about 45 minutes ago, we had we saw the pictures, a large wedge tornado on the ground in Jack County. So
actually, I can put it up if you'd like.
Yeah, we can put it up.
See that picture.
So here it is.
That was it.
You know, so this was a monster tornado, and we had a report from one of the storm chasers in our chat that there were multiple vortices with this as well. So this may not have been the peak of it, but either way, this was a very large tornado at some point, and if there is one on the ground right now, it is likely rain wrapped.
Dylan, I will tell you that firefighters in Montague County say they believe it's not official, but they believe there could have been a tornado that just passed near the firehouse a little bit ago. So
Yeah.
that was the area of circulation there were two areas of circulation we were watching. So the firefighters, once they can safely assess whatever damage there is, will hopefully get more information from the firefighters in Montague County. That area of rotation has moved away, but they're still dealing with torrential rain and wind and plenty of lightning there. So hopefully they are safe, and we'll take care of the situation there in Montague. But they believe they did have a tornado in Montague. Unconfirmed at this point, but that is something we'll look into.
Yeah, and you know, another thing, Allie, I would go back to the velocity for a moment. Sure. And even though this is very high up in the atmosphere, I mean, it looks to me like, this is the best it's looked from a signature. I mean, this is some serious wind that the radar is picking up on. I understand this is 6,500, 7,000 feet above the surface, but at the bare minimum, very strong mid-level rotation with this tornado-producing storm near Bonita right now. So Bonita, hopefully everybody listened and got into your safe place. You had 45 minutes of lead time with this storm as it moved in. I mean, this is producing some serious wind up there. Caps Corner, you're next. And this is going to be crossing, what was it? It was 373, Allie?
FM 373, so near Bulcher and Marysville, I believe. Yeah,
and this is getting ready to cross up into the Red River in the next few minutes. So this is almost out of our viewing area, but I mean, my goodness, the past 2 hours, at least a tornado-warned storm. Long live supercell. And the reason why is, I mean, if you could zoom out for a second, Allie, I mean, there was nothing to the south of this to disrupt this storm. This had clean inflow all the way from when it got going. And now it's getting ready to cross into Oklahoma, causing some problems.
Just to kind of show what's happening elsewhere, we've got some thunderstorms, but they're behaving in Stephenville and De Leon and Comanche and Hyco. And then the more intense stuff, while not severe, it's still just coming down through Graham, Olney, Throckmorton, Breckenridge. But a lot of this is still well northwest of the Metroplex. And for the most part, it's going to stay that way for several more hours until we see this line develop and move from west to east as we go through the overnight, Dylan. So I just don't want folks to let their guard down that are in other areas of North Texas, because we still have a severe threat going through the night with our line of storms that could produce brief spin-ups. They did issue a new tornado warning just because of our time and because the motion has slowed a little bit. It still looks very impressive on radar, just moving north of Highway 82. So they just extended that warning. It goes into southern Oklahoma at this point. So the new warning, just until this moves out of Texas. The official timing for it, let's see here. Until 8:30, but it's not going to take that long to move out of Texas.
And I mean, and Allie, another thing, I understand that this has moved quite far away from our radar, but I mean, this is in a very impressive storm. I mean, in the past few minutes, it's really hooked up again. If we could pause this and just zoom in a little bit. I mean, look at the hook on this. I mean, if there's not a tornado on the ground with this, it's at least producing some very strong rotation just above the surface.
Those winds are ripping. That inflow, those winds are really coming into that storm. I mean, it's very, very impressive through Bonita, Caps Corner, and then it's still producing potentially up to golf balls.
Yeah, let's, I mean, I don't even think we could go to the velocity, but.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to, well, I mean, it's still, you can see the rotation aloft for sure. It's still there.
Very strong winds just above the surface. So a possible tornado somewhere near Bonita. This is getting ready to cross the Red River in the next few minutes or so. At the very least, I mean, this is a monster supercell getting ready to cross into Oklahoma and will likely continue producing. So look, if you know anybody in the path of this storm in southern Oklahoma that may not get Fox 4, go ahead and alert them about this storm coming in from the southwest, because this storm has had an extensive history of producing a tornado. And at least as of right now, it looks as impressive as it has within the past 2 hours. We've been wall to wall now for nearly 2 hours on Fox 4, and it's still got that hook, classic signature history of producing a tornado. Just in the past few minutes, Ali, was that fire department on 82, or were they on 59?
They were in Montague.
Okay.
So it was something we saw on X, I believe. So they had just posted that they believe they had a tornado that moved near the actual fire station. So our producers are working to try and get more information on that, if there's any visual evidence or not. At 8 o'clock, that first tornado warning, they're going to let expire, but we'll still have the warning that includes St. Joe, Nacona, and points northeast. I will tell you, because this circulation still moving rather quickly, the warning officially goes until 8:30, but that's not going to be the case. I would expect in the next 15 to 20 minutes, they'll likely cancel all of the warnings at this point. This is all, again, radar indicated rotation. Several storms developing southwest of the Metroplex. Many of them are showing some low-level rotation. We'll have to watch these as they move north closer to the front, as well as the activity by Abilene down to San Angelo. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to zoom out and let's talk about what's happening across all of North Texas, because now we're going to hear about more impacts for other folks. We are dealing with a very volatile situation. We have a front that's hanging out just to the northwest of the Metroplex. And as these storms get closer to the front, we've got surface winds out of the south. And then, of course, back behind the front, you have more of a west-northwest wind. And those winds are two very different directions. And as they approach each other, we see convergence and rotation develop. So as these storms that are lifting through Erath, Palo Pinto, and eventually Hood, Parker counties, they could exhibit more rotation as they get closer to our northern counties. So we're going to have to pay very close attention to these individual cells here over the next few hours. Rotation in Montague appears to be intensifying yet again northwest of Bonita, north of Highway 82. So let's go back. That is another area of rotation. We've been watching a few different spots within these cells. So let's go northwest to 82 and Bonita. The hail core is really racing to the north, so that's already almost approaching the Red River. I'm going to add the velocity signature here. So we have a new area of rotation, and it's right here, northwest of Bonita. So now we're looking north of Bonita. This area of rotation is far enough east-northeast of Nacona that I think those folks are okay. It's now north of Bonita, and it is to the east of Caps Corner. So this new area is likely going to head northeast up towards Bellevue. That would be the next town to be directly impacted by the area of rotation. This is, of course, still, we're talking radar-indicated rotation at this point. And I'll put our traditional radar scan back on. So this is the area we're talking about, where we could be dealing with now this new area of rotation. This storm is such a large area, and we've got these little vortices, these little pockets of rotation that kind of keep ping-ponging back and forth on the west side and the east side of the storm. So now it's northwest of Bonita where we have that area of rotation, Dylan.
Yeah, and it looks like, and that I was just glancing over at the screen when you switched over to velocity, but it does look like, and no surprises, right, Allie, that maybe the rotation has gotten a little bit better defined. Either way, we have a extremely dangerous storm that has an extensive history of producing a tornado in northern Montague County right now, getting ready to cross the Red River. Somewhere just north of Highway 82. So if you know anybody that lives near Capps Corner or somewhere along the Red River, see, definitely trying.
So difficult. We're not getting a lot of towns or anything. I mean, there are some really small areas up here.
Spanish Fort.
That are being impacted, Dylan. Yeah. So, like you said, Spanish Fort, Bellevue. Radar indicates strong rotation north of Bonita, tornado possible near FM 1956 and Cottonwood Creek Road. So we've got some locators, FM 1956 and Cottonwood Creek Road north of Bonita. And this is the spot we're talking about, Dylan. And
it's just so hard. If you guys are just joining in, we are extremely far from the radar right now. If there's a tornado, this is 80 miles away from the radar. The radar is scanning 6,500 to 7,000 feet up into the atmosphere. So any rotation that we're seeing on radar is far above the surface. So if there is a tornado on the ground, we are right now relying on ground reports. The last that we've heard was perhaps at least some wind damage from the fire department in Montague. Downtown Montague. We haven't heard anything from Bonita just yet. Hopefully no damage, but I will say, you can see there's that updraft right there, Allie. Little weak, we call it a bounded weak ecoregion. Means there's a strong updraft with this storm. So if there is a tornado with this, it's likely rain wrapped as it gets ready to cross the Red River.
And it looks like the hail core has come down a little bit, and the hail core is now approaching the Red River. So if the hail core comes down, that's also a good sign. I'd like to see that continue, but at least the larger hail at this point is heading into southern Oklahoma right now.
Yeah, so I mean, we just have a few more minutes. Let's Allie, let's zoom out for a moment and just take a look at the big picture at what's going on. So I just want to start off by saying that this supercell that has an extensive history of producing a tornado, it rode right along this frontal boundary up into Oklahoma. So this is where, at least for the next couple of hours, the greatest risk for a tornado will be right along that boundary. Now, we're looking at the radar. It does look like we're starting to see some activity developing south of this boundary. This is in the warm sector. So it's,
about these down here, Dylan, because they're already exhibiting some very weak rotation.
Yeah, look at that.
I'm just gonna put the velocity on here. Okay, we're not gonna. So west of Hyco, I think that's the one we're gonna have to watch.
Yep.
At this point, that seems to be the soup du jour down here. That's the one west of Hyco, and that's gonna travel northward along 281. I'd say that's probably Erath County may be the next to be dealing with rotating storms here very quickly.
Yeah, and I was going to say, at the very least, Allie, these cells, as they approach that boundary, that's when I'm more worried about them becoming tornadic. But I mean, these are in the warm sector, and at least as of earlier, I did read in the discussion that we had a lot of backing of the winds. So these cells could easily end up producing a tornado as well as they move up to the north. So I would say, Allie, do me a favor. Let's pause this and let's zoom into the cell by Hyco, because I did see some hints of rotation on the velocity.
Yeah.
It does look like, at least as of a few minutes ago. I mean, maybe it's probably still in the mid levels, but
it's right along the Hamilton and Erath border where that rotation is, just west of Hyco, west of 281. I think, as you mentioned, these all exhibiting some at least weak rotation right now, but as they get closer to the boundary to the north, that'll be where it's likely going to ramp up. I will let you know from the Weather Service, rotation continues north of Bonita. It waxes and wanes from strong to weak. Strongest rotation now near FM 1956 and 3301. So let's just go back there one more time. We're going to stay on air here for about another 6 minutes or so, because this rotation is moving into southern Oklahoma. And I'm going to put the velocity back on. So we'll continue to monitor this area. And it is well north of Bonita now, the area of rotation. It doesn't appear as strong as it was So that is good. Let's hope it stays that way. But this is now well north of Bonita and will continue to head towards the Red River in the next few minutes and likely be north of the Red River by the time we get to about 8:15.
Yeah, and Allie, just to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, I mean, I think, going forward as this crosses into Oklahoma, our concern is going to shift back to the southwest where we're seeing those cells beginning to develop. I mean, we have a tornado watch in effect until midnight for some of our western zones, pretty much blanketed along that boundary where you see off to the north and west of DFW. But I wouldn't be surprised if they had to expand that watch a bit more to the east. Into the Metroplex?
Yeah, I think they will. And I had the hail core on there momentarily just to look at it. Hail size has come down, not as much lightning as 20 minutes ago. So that's all a good sign of this is, at least for now, weakening. So maybe not as strong of a tornado concern. We still have the rotation, we still have the damaging winds, and at least pocket change, quarters up to quarters falling in northern Montague, but for sure not as strong. The National Weather Service agrees with us, Dylan. They're now watching intensifying rotation in Erath County west of Hico.
Here we go.
So let's go back down there because I have a feeling that this is going to now be the next. Gosh, these all have rotation in them in Erath County at this point. It's not super impressive. I just want to put it in motion. These are racing off to the north, and we could be seeing multiple storms rotating at the same time from west of Hico to north of Stephenville and Morgan Mill, it appears, the next areas that we'll be watching. So Erath County, heads up. Palo Pinto County, heads up, as we're watching these going for the next several hours. These are lifting north. Okay, so we're actually going to be wrapping up here momentarily. Dylan, I'm going to just kind of leave a big view here for at least the time being, and then we'll zoom back in our rotating storm that's in northern Montague County. It appears the more intense part of it is now making its way up towards the Red River at this point, and will continue to head into Oklahoma here over the next 15 to 20 minutes. The warning officially goes until 6:30. Anything to add?
I think, just stay with us here at Fox 4. Before you go to bed tonight, make sure you have multiple ways of getting a warning. We are just getting started with the severe weather threat for the rest of the area. This will continue through the overnight hours. I'm here, Allie's here, our chief, Dan Henry, just walked in. It's all hands on deck, and we'll keep you forewarned here at Fox 4.
All right, thank you all very much. Stay with Fox 4. We'll keep you forewarned.